Hello guys, what's going on? This is teacher Leo. I hope that you're doing well. So in this case, I'm going to teach you two lessons. So I'm going to start with the object pronouns, right? So please go to the page 88 of your top-notch book. And in this page, you will see a little vocabulary about types of clothing and shoes. Also, we have the grammar box. So I'm going to start with the grammar box about the object pronouns, right? So in this case, we can say that the object pronouns are the words that we use to substitute a name or a thing, right? Um, in this case, we use the object pronouns to avoid repetitions, right? So the object pronouns are me, you, him, her, it, us, and them, right? So remember that we use me for I, you for you, him for he, her for she, it for it, us for we, and them for they, right? So in this case, we're gonna start with the object pronouns as a direct object. What does mean? For example, the direct object um, sometimes it's a noun, right? So in this case, we have I want the cardigan, right? So if I want to say this, but I want to use an object pronoun, I can tell you I want it. Why? Because the cardigan is a thing, right? It is not a person or a name or something like that. It is a thing, right? That's the reason that I'm going to use it, right? So also we have I love these pumps, right? In this case, we use them because pumps are in plural, right? And the plural that we have are for this example or that we use uh, is them, right? So remember that we use the object pronouns to substitute a name or something like that. For example, if I want to say, um, I don't know, I love my sister, my brother, my family, or something like that, instead of to say all the names of my family, um, I can say I love them, right? Why? Because my sister, my brother, and all my family, I can use the subject they, but how I'm telling you as a object pronoun, I'm using them, right? So also we have that we can use object pronoun in a prepositional phrases, right? So for a prepositional phrases, we use a noun, right? So for example, we have here that says we gave the loafers to the clerk, right? But if I want to say with a pronoun, I I can say I gave the loafers to him. Why? Because to the clerk is a person, right? It could be she or he. It depends the context, right? Now in this case, I I can say that is he, so that's the reason that we are using him, right? Now we have here an example that says, is he buying a blazer to his wife? It is for a prepositional phrase with the noun. Now, for a prepositional phrase with the pronoun or the object pronoun, we can say, is he buying a blazer for her? So in this case, you can say, why is he using her, right? So it's because we are for his wife. Wife. Where is the wife? Is she, right? So in this case, we use for she. We use her, right? For example, imagine that the question could be, is he buying a blazer for, I don't know, Samantha, right? So instead of to say the name of the person, we can say, is he buying a blazer for her, right? That's the difference. Now, also we have here that we can use an object pronoun in a sentences with both with a direct object and a prepositional phrase. So in this case, we say the direct object first, right? For example, we have here, we gave the v-neck to the clerk, right? So the v-neck is a sweater, right? Like uh, with a V, right? So this is the correct form. We are unable to say we gave to the clerk the v-neck. This is incorrect. Why? Because in this case we are saying the prepositional phrase first and later the object, right? No, remember uh, that we have to say the the object first and later the prepositional phrase, right? So we have another example that says he is buying it for her, right? We are unable to say he is buying for her it, right? No, this is incorrect. For example, another example that I can tell you, for example, uh, I wrote a letter for my girlfriend, right? This is the correct form. Now, I can't say I wrote to my girlfriend a letter. This is incorrect. So please remember that in this case we use the object first and later the prepositional phrase, right? This is for an object pronoun. Now we're gonna start with the second lesson, right? So please pay attention for this part, guys. Now we're gonna start with the last part of this class, and please go to page 90, right? So this is about comparative adjectives, right? So in this case, we can say that we use comparative adjectives when we're talking about two things, right? Not 3 or 10 or 100 and more. No, just only two things, right? So it could be people, places, ideas, or something like that, right? So in this case, we have um, some examples here, right? For example, we have the first one that says, do you have these fonts in a larger size? This pair is a little fight, right? So when we are talking about comparative, uh, we can say that we can use for more or less, right? So, for example, uh, we can use the comparative adjectives. Um, for example, the comparative adjective for small, we have smaller, right? For cheap, we have cheaper. For large, we have larger. um, for um, lose, we have loser, and a lot of adjectives more, right? Now, we have another example here that says, I need shoes that are more comfortable. These are very small. Or also we can say, do you have a pair of less expensive gloves? These are just too expensive, right? So also we have the uh, we can use than after the adjective when you compare two people, places, and things. What does mean? For example, if I can tell you, uh, my mom is older than my aunt, for example, right? So this is to compare. Also, we have here that sweet is nicer than that one in wearing, or these gloves are more expensive than the other pair, right? Or for example, I don't know, imagine that we can say, uh, I am smaller than my brother, right? Or I am taller than my brother, right? So we have the spelling rules. What does mean, right? We use E and R when the word ends in a consonant, right? For example, we have here small, smaller. Also, we have cheap, cheaper, right? So we use the R when the word ends in letter E. For example, large, larger, use, looser, right? So we have here another example that we can use to change the letter Y, right? So in this case, we use IER, right? For example, we have heavy, we can say heavier. We have pretty, we say prettier, right? Now, what happens if we have one consonant? So we have to add another consonant plus E and R, right? For example, we have big, so you can see that big ends with one consonant, right? So you need to add another consonant. In this case, it's another G, so it is bigger, right? Hot, hotter, right? So these are the rules to use the comparative adjectives, right? Also, we have irregular forms that we use better for good and worse for bad. Uh, Also, we can use more or less with adjectives that have two or more syllables and don't end in a Y. For example, more expensive and less comfortable. How you can see, um, these are adjectives that have two, two or more syllables and ends in a vowel, right? So, for example, for another example, that imagine that if we talk about the two planets, for example, I don't know, Earth and Mars, we can compare them as, for example, we can say Mars is smaller than the earth, right? Remember that this is for that we use this to compare things, right? Because we are unable to say Mars is small than Earth. No, this is incorrect. We have to use the comparative adjective. In this case, it's smaller, right? So also we have, for example, Mars is more distant from the Sun, right? Or also we can say another example, for example, Mars has more moons than Earth, right? So this is all for today, guys. I hope that you that you can understand all the lessons in this class, sorry. So if you have any question, please remember, don't be hesitate, you can write us, and we are more than glad to help you with your doubts or your questions, right? So take care, guys. See you next time.